So like as I was saying, they gave and had no problem persecuting Yahweh Shai when he was on that cross, man. And said, let his blood be upon us and our children. So that the Lord ain't forget that. If he didn't forget the men who pierced him, and you think he's just going to let Jake off the hook? No. He's going to allow Esau to be used as a tool to destroy, man. That perpetual hatred that he speaks of in Ezekiel the 35th chapter, hey, well, that's going to come to pass, man. Matter of fact, let's grab it, and I'm going to grab another precept and close out. This is Ezekiel 35:5, and it reads, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? So that's that now shall I utterly slay my brother Jacob, right? That perpetual hatred, was that root, of evil set within Esau was always there, man, and was always adverse against the apple of the Lord's eye. It says, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? So the Lord is also going to, destroy the house of Esau. I said Esau. So like the house of Esau. Edom, man. Right? Esau is Edom. Now I'm going to grab another precept. Right? Because Lord willing, we be those men, man. And we're fighting to stay in the steed in the position of those that believe, so that we may, Lord will, be of that number. This is important. Psalms 125, to remain in the spirit and to keep that patience, man. Right? It says, for the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous. Meaning that what? The Most High isn't going to give a righteous man a judgment of a 2/3. Right? It says, lest the righteous put forth their hands into iniquity. And ultimately, the elect, the elect have always been the elect, man. You can't be of that number and then, still be a nigga, Yahweh Shema Shai is put forth, that spirit to change into that newly created creature of righteousness into the men in whom are founded that number, man. Right? So it says, for the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. So we got to stay in the spirit, man. Right? And for us to stay in the spirit, you stay locked into the videos, you stay praying, you stay reading, you get in the Hebrew, you get into the herbs, you get into your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, more important than anything. And you continue to use charity, fellowshipping, all the tools that the Lord gave us in order for our spirits, to be on the level it needs to be on for us to endure the said perils, man. Right? So the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, I'm going to read it again. It says, for the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. Right? So our job is to, stay locked in, Don't go into the way of the 2/3, because the Lord can take the spirit from you. And that there would give you a judgment as a 2/3, man. Because not only did you, were you plowing and gave up, but you went back into the world, so the 7 more demons, hopped onto you, man. Right? So, pray for that Psalms 51, But that's the point right there, that the Lord is going to allow Esau to open up, man, in a huge way. And ultimately, if you're not of the number, then you're marked for a judgment. When we go into the book, what's that where it says, if a man leaned his hand on the wall and a servant bit him, I believe it may be Amos. Yeah, Amos 5, right? These are going to be the troubles in which Jake, finds. And it's not necessarily, saying, oh, these animals, but these are just different troubles being personified, right? It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, to what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it, right? So if you don't have that light, if you don't have that oil, to see in the dark, so to speak, to navigate within the madness, then the judgments that Yahweh Shemashah created, you're gonna fall. You're gonna become a victim of those judgments, man. Right? And Esau is just one of those. right? Because he's still a man. So the Lord is also going to be destroying Edomites too. But he's going to allow Esau to get down on Jake real soon. You know, that spirit is going to be heavy throughout the earth, man. And he ain't going to spare the sword, you know, for a 2/3. You know, so that's the point. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakakodash. A double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to Yakin, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.